A system that didn't know where it came from brought the chubby Qiu Chen to Hong Kong comprehensive world and gave him a main task called The Struggle History of a Grassroots Little Hooligan. Qiu Chen vowed not to comply with this, hoping to obtain the main task of Domineering CEO and his noble women lovers, or stories that male stars and then female stars must tell, but was rejected by the system. The system said that if he didn't become a little hooligan, so let Qiu Chen accept the main task of domineering male CEO falling in love with me, by default, which sounds very painful. In the current world, there are Hongxing, Dongxing, and Liansheng, Chen Haonan, Shanji, Ale, Di, Crow, Smiling Tiger, Ni Yongxiao, Lian Haolong, Wang Bao, as well as real giants like Tai, Yinshan, and Explosive. The system sees Qiu Chen as too useless. I gave Qiu Chen a beginner skill gift package. Exorcism Sword Technique. For some reason, the things provided by the system sounded very painful, so a fat guy started working at the grassroots level of the Hong Kong Island Club. Chapter 1. Preface. Confession. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This year is 1978, located at Chung Chun Welfare Home on Hong Kong Island, and I want to confess. My current name is Qiu Chen, also known as Little Fatty. This nickname was given to me by the system manager. Yes, I have a system because I don't belong here at all, but my system manager is not friendly to me. She says she is a product of higher civilization, and I asked her how I came, but she couldn't explain clearly. But she told me that if I don't listen to her and don't complete the tasks she gave me on time, she will let me know why I didn't. The main task she recommended to me was called The Struggle History of a Grassroots Hooligan. Oh my goodness, I'm only 5 years old. Have you ever seen a 5-year-old child who sees becoming a hooligan as their ultimate goal in life? It's too cruel. I strongly protest to the system manager, and I want the theme of Domineering CEO and his mistresses, or stories that male celebrities and then female celebrities have to tell. The system manager was so annoyed that I couldn't bear it. He kindly recommended the theme of Domineering male CEO falling in love with me to me. This theme seemed to hurt, but in the end, I became a little thug. Cut. What about accepting the theme of gangsters? I don't do anything if it's a big deal. I'm such a clever little ghost. The system manager told me that if I don't complete the task, there will be punishment, such as running naked in the busiest area of Hong Kong Island, until my physical strength is exhausted and I die, becoming the first bizarre creature in human history to die naked. Okay, this punishment is too terrible, I gave in. The system butler immediately distributed a newcomer gift package, which was a skill gift package with 3 options. I didn't want it because I saw the first one was the Demon Repeating Sword Manual, and I refused to accept it. The system butler told me that if I refused to accept it, the system would help me randomly select it. By the way, the system manager has a physical form, and now, like me, she is also 5 years old. However, she is a beautiful little loli, and I suspect she has taken my attribute points. She will grow with me, and I am not happy. The little demons are quite scary, and who can expect the big demons? I have no choice but to choose C. Why? Because I have read the system introduction, A's Demon Repellent Sword Technique. The only sword technique in the world is fast and unbreakable, only with reluctance can one obtain it, removing a trace of annoyance can one benefit for life. I will go, oh my, I will go. I feel like I want to keep this little annoyance and pass it decisively. Be pure Yang Wuji skill, the internal skill of the world is pure but not refined, and it is a necessary path to ascend to immortality. Please maintain the innate pure Yang Qi, otherwise there is a risk of exploding the body if all previous achievements are abandoned. I remember this is Zhang Zhenren's unique skill. Zhang Zhenren, the innate pure Yang Qi, I think I understand now, but it's okay now. After all, I'm just a little radish head. If I were to reach adulthood, one night I would dream. The ancient said that the spring dream had no trace, but they didn't say that the spring dream would explode into the sky. Forget it, I don't want to see me too naive. See Golden Bell Mask, invincible in all external skills, a mouthful of true chi in the elixir field, swords and halberds as if idle. Be careful not to have intimate contact with the opposite sex before completing your divine skills. Otherwise, the system will selectively retrieve one of the host's organs. Well, at least after completing your divine skills, you can become a normal person without affecting your sleep. The system also despised me for being useless and added benefits to me. I can receive a quarterly lottery once a quarter, which can draw characters, equipment, money, property, technology, etc. The specific amount of money I can draw depends on the system's mood. I just drew a box of X-Deer milk powder. It's a combination of technology and ruthlessness. People are already overweight, and no matter how big their heads are, it can be unsightly. I can also hold an annual character lottery once a year, with the prize being a top-level character, and the system will embed a legal identity for them. I can come to them by myself, and there is absolutely no problem with loyalty. Just be more reliable on this, and I will rely on it to survive in the future. Open the attribute interface. The character Qiu Chen is 5 years old, male, with strength of 5, agility of 5, health of 5, and intelligence of 11. The average value for a normal adult is 10, decreasing for young children. The Golden Bell Mask is the first glimpse path, with 2 attributes for strength, agility, and health each. The next level requires 1000 skill points to level up, 200 existing skill points, 0 existing attribute points, 5 cubic meters of system space, and no existing items. The 200 skill points were obtained from a fight between me and the neighboring class's cauliflower fun because I poured a plate of cauliflower on her head, giving her the nickname. However, when Cauliflower Fun reacted, she slapped me and swore that I absolutely avoided it, but I didn't dodge it. Then, Cauliflower Fun rubbed me on the ground, which was too painful. It wasn't just a pretense, it was just a normal physiological reaction, and I cried. Later, the system rated this battle as a side mission and gave it 200 skill points. The reason was that it was fought too badly, exceeding the system's expectations and causing a great impact on the hearts of other children, so it was recognized as a side mission. Later on, I deliberately had a few fights with someone, and they got worse and worse each time. The system didn't move, and I thought that if I won, I might be recognized. However, I really couldn't do it. Later, I gave up because I didn't recognize side quests. It still depends on the system's mood. This is my confession. Chapter 2. 15 years. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In 1993, Qiu Chen, who was 20 years old, asked about the changes over the years. Little Fatty became Big Fatty, and Little Devil became Big Devil. Qiu Chen seriously suspected that the system had stolen his appearance points. He couldn't be ordinary, but the image of the system manager became increasingly outstanding, which was unfair. Qiu Chen got out of the car and walked towards Hennessy Road, one of the busiest streets on Hong Kong Island. He was filled with emotions, but fortunately, the task was completed early. Otherwise, today would be the day when he ran naked here, cheating his father's system. Qiu Chen was sighing when a short person behind him gently patted him and said, "Why didn't Brother Chen go up? They should have all arrived." Qiu Chen turned around and his mood instantly improved a lot. Ah, contentment is always good. It's not too bad. The person who talks to Qiu Chen is called a chicken spirit. He is the top person drawn by Qiu Chen's annual lottery, but his ability is top-notch. As for his height and appearance, he should be called a depression. Let's go, chicken spirit. Let's go together, Qiu Chen said and walked with chicken spirit to an office building on the 16th floor of Ruixiang Real Estate. Qiu Chen walked into the conference room, where more than 10 people stood up and said, "Chen brother." Qiu Chen replied, everyone sits down. Qiu Chen and these dozen or so people all sit down. These dozen or so people are all characters drawn by Qiu Chen from the annual lottery. They are chicken spirits, the master of the lying tiger, shrewd, smooth in handling things, ruthless, image, not to mention, divine lamps, the club fit in the gold list, Wei Jixiang, the red stick head horse of the dragon club in the martial arts world, the nine-striped dragon, the most powerful fit of the club in the nine-dragon ice room, Yao Wen, the club fit in the Jia position, Luo Tianhong, the club red stick in the duo Shui, the strongest thug, Tian Yongxing siblings. The mercenary thug in the male nature, Abu, and the martial arts in Wolf Fang. Expert, Aji, the strongest assassin in the Wolf Slayer, Gao Jin, the warden in the Wolf Slayer, Feng Yuxiu, a martial arts enthusiast in the martial arts world, Xiahou Wu, a righteous expert in the martial arts world, Li Jie, a former explosive expert in the rat gallbladder and dragon's might, Jimmy, a business genius in the underworld, Sandy, and Long's lawyer in the martial arts world. Because the system felt that it was too useless, it provided itself with a golden finger, which was also Qiu Chen's biggest trump card. When Qiu Chen was 15 years old, he and Gao Jin led several elite Kapuzi, who won the quarterly lottery, to join the family of Li Pengzi in North Point of Hongxing. Appoint Chicken Spirit, Divine Lamp, and Abu to join the elite ancient puzzlers under the leadership of A. Xiang and A. Bao in Causeway Bay. Wei Jixiang and Luo Tianhong joined the Hong Kong Aberdeen Xingshu family with the elite Kapuzi. Yaowen and Aji led the elite Gu Puzi to join the sect of Shihuan Jaij. Jiuwen Dragon and Tian Health Belt elite ancient puzzler joined the Chai Wan Ma Wang Jian sect, completing the main task of joining the underworld before the age of 20 in the system ahead of schedule. Before joining the triad, Qiu Chen knew that the main task was not easy, and there might be a mission to become a leader in the later stage. Therefore, at the beginning, Qiu Chen made plans to steal the chicken and wanted to join a third-rate club like Hong Tai, or a first-class club with an electoral system like Liansheng. Hong Tai, a club like this, can easily rise to power by eliminating the leader and his confidants. With an electoral system like Liansheng, as long as they know how to be a good person and rank according to seniority, they can also take their turn to become the leader. However, the system of the Pit Father required a lottery to decide the club to join, and unfortunately, Hong Xing was drawn. At that time, Qiu Chen stopped working and played around with the system, not accepting reality. However, in the end, when the system threatened to control the host to collapse naked in a bar where a special crowd gathered, Qiu Chen reluctantly chose to join Hong Xing. As for joining different halls separately, it was also to prepare for subsequent tasks. So at present, all of Qiu Chen's layouts are concentrated at the entrance of the Hongxing Island area. Then the second main task of the system was released, which required becoming a red stick before the age of 25. This task was also completed this year. At present, Qiu Chen, Wei Jixiang, Yao Wen, and Zhou Long are all red sticks at their respective halls. Only Chicken Spirit, the Divine Lamp, is under the command of Ah Xiang and Ah Bao in Causeway Bay. There is no other way, but Big B in Causeway Bay is better than Chen Haonan's own son, wholeheartedly promoting Chen Haonan to the top. Others, including Ah Bao and Ah Xiang, the two younger brothers who have been with Big B for the longest time, can only stand aside, let alone Chicken Spirit and Divine Lamp. In addition, Luo Tianhong, Abu, Aji, Tian Yongxiang, and Gao Jin are all in a hidden state. They usually protect Qiu Chen, Wei Jixiang, Yaowen, Jiuwen Dragon, Shendeng, and others, fully supporting Qiu Chen, Wei Jixiang, Yaowen, Jiuwen Dragon, and Shendeng to ascend to power. Afterwards, he received the third main task from the system, which required him to become a fit at Tanko before the age of 30. There were still 10 years left until now for Qiu Chen to complete this task. However, Qiu Chen was not in a hurry because based on the analysis of the main task, it was estimated that the next main task would be to become a club leader between the ages of 35 and 40. In Hongxing, this goal is basically difficult to achieve. It is clear from seeing the results of Liankuan in the past life, not to mention that there is a more treacherous and deceitful Jiang Tianyang behind Jiang Tiansheng, as well as our lucky son, Chen Haonan. So now we need a more secure layout. The outside world is unaware of the relationship between Qiu Chen and others. Qiu Chen and Ji Jing meet privately every quarter to summarize, and the rest of the time is spent on phone communication to complete any major matters. The meeting will be held at Jimmy's real estate company. Jimmy and Sandy were drawn later, and after they were drawn, Qiu Chen arranged for these two people to engage in regular business. He also thanked Senior Police Officer Zhang Wenyao for the start-up funds. Although there were no brothers or sisters from Tian Yongxian joining, Zhang Sir still found some mercenaries from Nan'an to rob the $100 million of Bank of America. After seeing this news, Qiu Chen decisively led someone to sneak into the police parking lot and took the $100 million from the trunk of Zhang Sir's old car. After discovering that the US dollar was nowhere to be found, Zhang Sir faced both the pursuit of mercenaries from Nan'an and the debt collection from high-interest loans, and decisively chose to run away. Qiu Chen arranged for Yu Xiu to clear this hidden danger while Zhang Sir was running away. From then on, the Nan'an mercenaries determined that Zhang Sir had taken the money to run away. After an internal investigation by the police station, it was determined that Zhang Sir was running away for debt evasion, and the case was hastily closed without resolution. Therefore, Qiu Chen received his first bucket of gold. Enli Jie, who was granted the title of Xiu, and Xiahou Wu were hidden by Qiu Chen as intelligence officers, assassins, and instructors, not meeting with outsiders. Qiu Chen put aside his thoughts and spoke up first. Let me first talk about the situation on my North Point side. Li Pengzi took another 500,000 from the fee this month, and the total amount over the years has been around 30 million. Last month, he lost 10 million at the casino, and the current 500,000 in black is probably only enough for interest. Li Pengzi has started to come into contact with the niggers from the Ni family, and they should be restocking soon. I will continue to monitor him and take photos of all the evidence when he scatters the goods. There were two conflicts with Lao He too, last month, both of which were not significant and have not been resolved. They are currently relatively stable. Li Pengzi has a lot of bad guys under his command, but their value is not high. The real fighting guys are basically gathered under his command, and this is probably how it is with me. Chapter 3. 15 Years 2. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Since Qiu Chen brought some Gao Jin to join North Point, Li Pengzi's territory has expanded significantly and his income has also increased. Nowadays, Li Pengzi has a gambling habit. Under the instigation of finance, he has been involved in the fees of the Black Club for several years, and finance is also a hidden stake of Qiu Chen. Therefore, all the evidence of Li Pengzi's black fees is in Qiu Chen's hands. In order to ensure a smooth follow-up plan, Qiu Chen found someone to trap Li Pengzi for 10 million yuan. Now that Li Pengzi is in a hurry to repay the money, he is taking risks and preparing to start gaining followers. Qiu Chen plans to prove the evidence of Li Pengzi's followers this time in order to start the subsequent plan. After Qiu Chen finished speaking, Chicken Spirit began to explain the situation in Causeway Bay. Chicken Spirit belonged to Qiu Chen's white paper fan. In order to control Causeway Bay, Chicken Spirit and Divine Lamp, the two most smooth people, were specially sent to join Causeway Bay. It can be said that winning Causeway Bay is the most difficult task among the 5 entrances in Hong Kong Island. After all, there is the son of luck, Chen Haonan. Ji Jing said, "Brother Chen, the big boss in Causeway Bay has taken the blame for Big B and entered the bitter kiln. Now Big B is openly promoting Chen Haonan to the top. It seems that he will soon promote Chen Haonan to the red stick. In terms of playing games, Abayo and Ashiang subordinates are basically following me and Shindeng, accounting for about 60% of the total number of boys in Causeway Bay. The remaining 20% were originally controlled by Chen Haonan, and the 20% of the big boys are now allocated to Chen Haonan by Big B. In Causeway Bay, Chen Haonan alone owns 40%, making the family the dominant force. Later on, Shen Deng and I plan to start from the younger brother of the big head and dig some fighting offspring to work under our own hands. Whether it can be used or not will be discussed, mainly with the goal of weakening Chen Haonan's strength. The pressure from other clubs in Causeway Bay is not high, and the external environment is relatively stable. Internally, there are more grievances between Bao and Xiang, mainly due to the increasing arrogance of Chen Haonan's younger brothers such as Shanji, who do not give face to Bao and Xiang. However, due to the B's obvious favoritism, Bao and Xiang are also cowardly and can only complain privately. However, the conflict between Liang Haolong and De B has deepened recently. De B doesn't allow anyone to mention Liang Haolong in front of him. It's estimated that there may be an outbreak in the future. This is similar to what happened with Shen Deng and me. Wei Jixiang continued, Brother Chen, last month I sent people to spread messages to the people of Lao He in Aberdeen. Lao He's crazy guy Rong blocked Han Biao's mistress's house and killed him. Tian Hong and I led people to drive away crazy boy Rong and stabilize our territory. Now all the people on Xingshu's side are under my and Tianhong's command, and Xingshu also has retirement ideas. I have talked to Xingshu before and he has plans to support me in taking office. He even said he supports me and feels sorry for Han Biao. Now that Han Biao has failed, Xingshu should fully support me in taking office. Qiu Chen pondered for a moment and said, Is there enough cash in Jimmy's account? If it's enough, give 20 million to Wei Jixiang. Jimmy replied, Don't worry, Chen. Business is now on track and there is ample funds. After the meeting, I will ask the accountant to transfer the money to Wei Jixiang. Qiu Chen said, Okay, then there's no problem. It's time to burn money now and we need more support from the company. Wei Xiao, you can give Uncle Xing 10 million as a pension as a tribute to him. Then let Uncle Xing take you to meet Li Fatty, Ji Gu, Liang Ma, Ma Wangjian, Han Bin, and Dinosaur, and ask them to support you in ascending the position at the meeting. In the early stage, give each person 300,000 yuan, and if you succeed, give each person another 300,000 yuan. Wei Xiao is the first among us to ascend the position, and there is no room for loss. Everyone nodded. Qiu Chen continued, Wei Xiao, once I take office, I will send 500 elite antique figurines to Tianhong to help you defend your territory. You can integrate the young brothers from Aberdeen and leave useful ones to fight against, while the rest will be disbanded. We don't need useless waste. Okay Chen, I'll do as you say when I go back, Wei Jixiang replied. Qiu Chen nodded and then looked at Yaowen, how is the situation on your end, Yaowen? Yaowen said, Brother Chen, the West Ring is still the same as before. Ji Gu still doesn't do anything serious. I and Aji are taking care of the land and the younger brother. I have asked Ji Gu before through others, and he has no idea of retirement. He doesn't take care of things and doesn't retire. However, Ji Gu still has a bit of face, so external clubs won't step in either, typical of slacking off and waiting to die. The previously arranged finance department came to report yesterday, and GGE's black regulation fee is almost 20 million yuan, but only this is the black regulation fee. It is still difficult to make Ji Gu abdicate. I am considering with Aji that all the younger brothers in the West Ring are under our command now, and our territory is also under our control. The bosses in the area are also selling us face. Can we take some measures against Jige, otherwise he will continue to waste time and have no way to take him. After pondering for a moment, Qiu Chen suddenly had a sudden epiphany and asked the crowd, has Kun Tong's fine eyes been having a lot of trouble with the Pu Hei from Liansheng recently? Ji Jing replied, yes, Chen Gu. I heard that Xian is partnering with Da Pu Hei in business and has tricked Da Pu Hei for over 20 million yuan. Da Pu Hei is now searching for Xian all over the world and has taken people to Kun Tong twice. After discussing with Liansheng's cold guy and Jiang Tiansheng, they decided that the two clubs will not participate in the personal conflicts between Xian and Dapuhe. They will solve them on their own. Where is Xian now? Can you find it? Qiu Chen asked. Li Jie replied, according to the report from the hidden post in Kuntong, I am hiding at a resort hotel in Tunmun. Qiu Chen said to Yaowen, where is Jige every day now? Yaowen replied, Chen Gu, Ji Gu is currently living a very regular life. He usually goes to the casino on Portland Street in the afternoon, drinks with his sister at the bar on Portland Street in the evening, has a late-night snack after 2 a.m., and then takes his sister back to the apartment in West Ring for the night. Qiu Chen said with a bad smile, then let's send the news to Dapuhe, saying that Xiaoyan found Jige after the accident, and Jige helped to hide Xiaoyan. Then let the sister who accompanied Jige unintentionally reveal that Xiaoyan asked their sisters to accompany Xiaoyan at Tunmun Resort Hotel. Then keep an eye on Jige's itinerary, set up surveillance cameras, and recording equipment in Jige's apartment, and make sure to capture the footage of Jige revealing the location of his fine eyes to Ohura He. In the future, it will rely on it to support Yaowen's rise. Okay, Brother Chen, I'll handle it when I go back, Yaowen replied. Zhou Long continued to report, Chen Gu, the frequency of conflicts with Lao He and Chaiwan has increased recently, and there are conflicts every week. The photo of Ma Wangjian sleeping with Egg Tart's wife has been taken, and you can send it to Egg Tart at any time after Chen Gu orders. Egg Tart probably sees the photo as the end of Ma Wangjian. At present, I have mastered 30% of the younger brothers and territories in Chaiwan with health preservation, while the rest are under the command of Ma Wangjian's two leading horses, De Koqiang and Lao Mingquan. However, they have many bad guys under their command and their combat effectiveness is not strong. We will continue to maintain the status quo in the future, and wait for further notice from Brother Chen. Chapter 4. 15 Years 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qiu Chen said, Zhou Long, you should be the second Empress Dowager Wei to take office. Once Empress Dowager Wei takes office and is able to speak at the Hongxing conference and have equal opportunities to interact with various courtiers, you will start preparing to take office. Ma Wangjian, big mouth strength and bad luck must all be eliminated, but it must also be eliminated by Lao He's egg tarts, so that you can smoothly ascend to the throne. Therefore, the plan formulated must be executed step by step. Good morning brother, Zhou Long replied. Qiu Chen said, Jimmy, you should also prepare 10 million yuan in cash next month and keep it in the company. It will be used by Zhou Long later. Okay Chen, I'll prepare, Jimmy replied. Sandy said, let me introduce the recent situation of the law firm. Currently, the law firm's business is progressing smoothly, with a net profit of around 2 million yuan per month, excluding initial investment. This year, I will participate in the selection of the top 10 young lawyers on Hong Kong Island. Jian Aowei and Jian Dashu have agreed to come forward to coordinate, and I plan to give Jian Dashu 5 million yuan from the firm's account to help with the operation. In addition, there is a legal exchange between Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and Macau in my home country of Pengcheng. I plan to participate deeply and become one of the organizers of the conference as soon as possible, laying a foundation for further in-depth exchanges with my home country. Qiu Chen returned and said, I don't have any objections to Sandy's approach. Just follow what you said, but there are 2 points. First, add an antique vase to Jian Dashu's gift, and I'll have Gao Jin bring it to you later. It's not good to mix public and private. Another option is to invite graduate students from top universities in mainland China to come to Hong Kong Island for internships and exchanges during legal exchanges, to experience different legal systems. Of course, the cost is our responsibility, and Sandy can determine the number of spots herself. This should help accumulate more network resources. Sandy smiled and said, okay, Chen Gu, I will implement it when I go back here. Qiu Chen looked at Jimmy and said, Jimmy, you're the only one left. When our God of wealth talks, everyone is most concerned. Jimmy smiled and said, Brother Chen, the A-goods business has now entered the right track. The factories in Guangdong province are fully producing, and the sales channels in Hong Kong Island and Bay have also been fully expanded. The main focus is on improving imitation technology and cost control. In terms of electrical appliances, the electrical factories on Hong Kong Island have added production lines for televisions, walkthroughs, and video recorders. The products mainly enter the domestic market through the resources of several village chiefs in Fujian, Guangdong, and Shandong provinces. The demand for electrical appliances in Fujian has decreased significantly, and now the main focus is on car trading. Currently, the Saigon import and export line is the company's main source of income. Ding Quan continued to purchase according to Shanji's requirements. Setting aside costs, the company's monthly profit totaled around 20 million yuan, and the remaining cash was invested to establish a fund to ensure fund returns. Qiu Chen said, "Okay, our god of wealth has immeasurable merits. Tell Yang Yi that we must guard Saigon well and ask for money and people. If there is an emergency, we can directly contact Xiahou to ensure the stability of Saigon. The Shah's treatment will be slightly improved, after all, he is on the most visible side. Other people are not as familiar as the Shah in Saigon." Jimmy replied, "Good morning brother, I'll explain to Yoshiyuki and Big Fool. What about Li Jia and Xiahou? What's going on? Is there anything that the company needs to do?" Li Jie replied, "Chen Gu, I don't have any problems here. With sufficient funds, there is a constant stream of news in the martial arts world. There are many bad guys, and it's easier to find hidden secrets. If there is any new news in the martial arts world, I will inform Chen Gu in a timely manner. There are fewer things to deal with in the gym, big brothers. Don't be polite if you really need it, otherwise I will rust in the gym." Xiahou joked and everyone laughed. When Qiu Chen saw it, he said to everyone, "Okay, that's all for today. Everyone should leave in batches." Everyone else left the meeting room one after another, and Jimmy and Jigging were always by Qiu Chen's side. Qiu Chen said to the two of them, "In the Hong Kong Island underworld, there are only 3 first-class clubs. Hong Xing, Dongxing, and Liansheng. Second-rate clubs include Shui Fang, Lao He, various character groups of the Number Gang, Ni Family, Chung Hsine, and at least a dozen others. At present, Lao He is directly related to us. If we want to establish a foothold in the Hong Kong Island area, we cannot avoid conflicts with Lao He. The current situation of Lao He winning and exploding is not easy to deal with, and we need to be fully prepared." Ji Jing took the conversation and said, "There's no way. Hong Kong Island is already the stronghold of Lao He, and Hong Xing was also suppressed by Lao He before. In recent years, we have only made a difference by joining and fighting back and forth. It's probably difficult to completely defeat Lao He. After all, Lao He is also a club known as 30,000 disciples." Jimmy continued, "Most of the 30,000 disciples are probably blue lanterns, but even after going to the water, there are not a few who truly fight. We must have a comprehensive plan, either we don't fight or we must win." Qiu Chen said, "Actually, we don't want to completely defeat Lao He either. Our initial goals can be set at West Ring, Aberdeen, North Point, Chai Wan, and Causeway Bay to unify Lao He. Once we achieve this goal, we can stabilize our strength, then find opportunities to work hard and let nature take its course. By this calculation, our main enemy is not the entire Lao He, Upper Ring, Middle Ring, and Lao He Tua Di, which have no conflict of interest with us. We have not moved to Jinzhong or Wanzai, which means we have no conflict with the big shots of Yinshan and Lao He Tu Tai. In total, our main enemy is only Xingbao. In the past 2 years, the relationship between Xingbao and Lian Haolong too has not been good, and they have been suppressing the Silver Mountain everywhere. I think Xingbao will suffer losses, and there may not be anyone leading the way. In this way, the difficulty should be lower." Ji Jing thought for a moment and said, "Chen Gu is right, but after all, Xingbao is from Lao He. Can Lao he really stay out of this? Jimmy said, it's true. If Xingbao gives up his face and money, Lao he should also come forward. At that time, our pressure will be greater. Qiu Chen said, this possibility is also quite high, but it can still be treated differently. When dealing with the legitimate lineage of Xingbao, we must strike hard, making them powerless to resist and completely disbanded. However, other soldiers borrowed by Xingbao can start by hating them a bit and then focus on scaring them away. Even if Bai is not from our own court, the borrowed ones will not really work hard. However, we still need to prepare in advance. Chicken Essence, could you help me count the number of our current personnel, combat effectiveness, and equipment situation? After summarizing the data, if there are any missing equipment, Jimmy, could you come forward and help us purchase them from outside Hong Kong Island as much as possible, and then secretly transport them in through the Sai Kung line? It's always better to be prepared. Alright, I'll leave first. Please feel free to contact me if there is anything. After speaking, Qiu Chen left his seat and walked out. Chapter 5. Opening. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The driver escorted Qiu Chen downstairs. Qiu Chen is currently living in an apartment, which is what Hong Kong Islanders call a 1,000-foot mansion, but it is actually just a 90-square-meter ordinary residence. After taking a shower, Qiu Chen sat on the sofa, with a thought, and opened the property's interface. Character Qiu Chen, aged 20 years old, male, with strength of 22, agility of 15, health of 15, intelligence of 20. The average value for a normal adult is 10. The Golden Bell mask enters the room, with 5 attributes for strength, agility, and health each, and the next level requires a slight upgrade of 5,000 skill points. The current skill points are 5,002, attribute points are 0, system space is 50 cubic meters, elite antique puzzle is 3,500, and the stab-proof suit set is 2,500. With a thought, the system manager appeared in front of him, but his attitude. Why summon Miss I out? Speak quickly, Miss, I still need to go back and fish, said the steward impatiently. Okay Miss, I remember we should be able to upgrade the Golden Bell Guard now. Could you please help me upgrade it, Mississippi? Qiu Chen said from the bottom of his heart as usual. There's nothing I can do. I've been quite miserable by the young lady these years. I've been completely convinced and lose my temper. Che, you are also a wonderful flower. You are really persistent. You've got a lot of rewards. How lucky you are. You have watched the Golden Bell jar upgrade since the first day. You are a single-celled animal. You can't change it. Yongxiao, Lehiquan, Bagua Dao, which one is not handsome when playing? If you are good, you can get the attribute points from the Golden Bell jar. You are a black bear expert. You need to steal the cassock. The system steward roast. With a whoosh, the system manager said, all right, the upgrade is complete. You can watch for yourself. Qiu Chen took a look at the character Qiu Chen, who is 20 years old, male, with a strength of 32, agility of 25, health of 25, and intelligence of 20. The average value for a normal adult is 10, and the Golden Bell mask has slightly improved, with 15 attributes for strength, agility, and health each. The next level requires 10,000 skill points for integration and upgrading, with 2 existing skill points and 0 attribute points. System space of 50 square meters, elite antique puzzle set of 3,500, and stab-proof suit set of 2,500. Miss, I have already made some progress with the Golden Bell cover. Is that okay? Qiu Chen asked in a casual tone. Humph, I knew you didn't have a good heart. They all said you needed to succeed, Xiaocheng. There's still a long way to go. You old man, please continue to persevere, the system replied disdainfully. I'm Triple Exorcism, Mississippi. It's been 15 years now, and I've been persisting for 15 years. Can't I look, Sandy's gaze at me is so drawn that I can't even further develop with them. Do you have a sense of responsibility in doing this? Qiu Chen said discontentedly. The steward of the system didn't care about this and said, alas. Brother, what's wrong with your eyes? Are you blind? The system has a therapeutic function, and I will treat you for free this time. Sandy still looks at you. Her eyes are still stringing, and I bow. What does Sandy look at you? Look at your fat. Your eyes are stringing. Your saliva is stringing. Sandy wants to eat braised pork belly, and the meat on your stomach is just right. I'm going, my mouth is so poisonous that I can't bear it, Qiu Chen said. I don't have too much meat, after all, I only weigh 160 pounds. The system butler glanced at you and said, you weigh 160 pounds, but you're not 170 tall either. It's not fat, what's it? It's not all pork belly, what's it? Qiu Chen. Me, my flesh is amazing. Not to mention Luo Tianhong, even the Fengyu Xiu cannot break through my defense. I am still strong, and if I hit them, they won't be able to bear it. How about that? It's amazing. The system butler said, are you okay to say that you're really a thief of robes? When people fight, they always move around and dodge. You're better off using your face to resist damage, right? The golden bell mask is just used, right? When others get tired and can't run, you slap like a blind bear. What else can you do besides this? Qiu Chen. I don't know how to retaliate. The system butler glanced at Qiu Chen and said, let's go, don't call me out if you have nothing to do. Qiu Chen was left on the sofa, silently shedding tears. Hong Kong Aberdeen Hongxing Tanku said, Wei Zai, what do you mean? Xing Shu smiled and said to Wei Jixiang, Xing Shu, you are going to retire. I think Michael has just returned to Hong Kong Island and needs to buy a house to settle down. Of course, relying on Michael's own ability, I think it will take you a few years to change to a big villa and take you to enjoy your life. At this stage, this 10 million is my personal filial piety to your elderly. Xing Shu, please don't refuse. Okay, Wei Zai, I didn't misread you. In a few days, I will recommend you to Mr. Jiang as a fit for Aberdeen Hong Kong. I used to think that Han Biao has been with me for the longest time, and I couldn't bear to recommend you or not. His palms and backs are all flesh. However, now that Han Biao is unlucky, you can only be a fit for Aberdeen Hong Kong. I think Mr. Jiang will also give me this face, Uncle Xing replied with a smile. Wei Jixiang quickly took over the conversation and said, thank you very much for Uncle Xing's help. We all rely on Uncle Xing, but I still want to ask Uncle Xing to help me. After all, I can't trouble you to do everything yourself. I want Uncle Xing to help me arrange a meeting with Li Fati, Ji Gu, Liang Ma, Ma Wangjian, Han Bin, and Dinosaur. I want to chat with them. To be honest, I want to bribe them to speak for me at the Hongxing conference. Uncle Xing was a bit surprised and replied, oh. These are all fits that recognize money but not people. Wei Zai, you need to prepare to cut the meat. I plan to give each person 300,000 yuan in the early stage, and then give each person another 300,000 yuan when I get promoted later, said Wei Jixiang. Uncle Xing said, well, this price is sincere enough. I don't think they will refuse. I'll help you schedule a few of them now. At the Wind Chime Bar in North Point, Qiu Chen received a call from a chicken spirit, saying, Brother Chen, today Big B asked Chen Haonan to kill Liang Kuan's sworn brother Ba Guan. Liang Kuan's side lost at least 20 million. I wonder if Liang Kuan will turn against Big B. Qiu Chen replied, at this stage, I don't think so. After all, Jiang Tiansheng is not a vegetarian either. De B is Jiang Tiansheng's most loyal dog, and hitting a dog also depends on the owner. Liang Kuan is not that foolish, but he may cause trouble for De B. Be careful on your side, and try not to get involved in their affairs. Good morning, I understand. I'll call you again if there's any news, replied the chicken spirit. Putting down the phone, Gao Jin walked in and said, Chen Gu, Yaowen just called but couldn't get through. He called me directly. Qiu Chen said, I was just talking to the chicken essence, and Chen Haonan from the chicken essence side killed Bagwan. I guess Liang Kuan is a bit annoyed. Gao Jin paused for a moment and said, will Liang Kuan attack the bee? Qiu Chen replied, I don't think so. It's not time yet. Liang Kuan is playing a big game, but it's more advantageous for us. Chapter 6. Negotiation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Gao Jin continued, Yaowen said that Ji Gu was caught by someone from Dapuhe while learning a foreign language in the apartment. Just a few times he was hit, he revealed the location of Xian. Now Dapuhe is waving the flag and preparing to go to Tunmun to catch Xian. Ji Gu is still in their hands. Dapuhe said he will release Ji Gu after killing Xian. Yaowen asked if someone should be sent to save Ji Gu. After a moment of contemplation, Qiu Chen picked up the phone and called Yaowen, saying, Yaowen, bring some people to wait outside Jai's apartment. If the people in Dapuhe release Jai as agreed, you don't have to show up. If you plan to kill Jai together, you can rush in and rescue Jai. Say to the apartment manager that they saw someone enter Jai's room and contacted you if they were afraid Jai had something to do. You can take someone to save Jai. Let me keep an eye on the monitor, Brother Ji cannot die now. Otherwise, with Jiang Tianqing's personality, he will definitely not let you take over at this stage. He would rather let Chen Haonan and Dafei take over than let someone he is not familiar with take over. Yaowen said, Good morning brother, I understand. I'll arrange it. Putting down the phone, Gao Jin continued, Chen Gu, Li Pengzi asked you to come over. He seems to have offended Dongxing's big eyes, so he should be going to talk math. Qiu Chen stood up and set off with Gao Jin and 20 elite ancient puzzle kids to find Li Pengzi. Walking downstairs, Qiu Chen and Gao Jin got into a Mazda sedan, and 20 young men got into several personnel transport vehicles, small vans. Li Pengzi's entrance was at his magazine office, not far from the Wind Chime Bar, and they arrived soon. Qiu Chen and Gao Jin got off the car and entered Li Pengzi's office. Fat Li rubbed his feet with one hand and chewed an apple with the other. He looked very untidy and angry. Seeing Qiu Chen coming in, he said loudly, Fat Chen, help me wave the flag. I'm going to kill that bastard Damon. Bullying people will bully me. I won't go to the river and lake to inquire about it. I joined the club when I was 13 years old and cut people with watermelon knives when I was 15 years old. Qiu Chen quickly answered the conversation and said, Uncle Li, what's wrong with you? Ah Jean, hurry up and pour a cup of tea for Uncle Li, damn it, let's go kill him. Why bother getting so angry about yourself? This is affecting your gambling luck. Boss, why are you killing everyone in the casino? As soon as he talked about gambling, Li Pengzi's expression became unnatural and he said, Oh, let's not talk about gambling. Last time I lost a lot anyway. How far have I been from the casino recently? Qiu Chen knew in his heart that what Li Pengzi said was about being tricked by him for 10 million yuan, but he didn't answer. Li Pengzi continued, A while ago, I found a little girl to take photos with and planned to use her as the cover for the next issue of the magazine. The girl agreed and paid 30,000 yuan for the photo. After taking the photo, TMD Demi came to her door, insisting that the girl was his cousin and that my magazine was not allowed to be published. I also wanted to send him the negatives. You know, since you came to Tanko, business has improved a lot, and Uncle Li and I have been living a carefree life. I didn't want to fight or kill, so I sent someone to send the negatives to Dami, and the magazine cover was reprinted. But Demi, this bastard, is bullying people too much. If he asks my younger brother to come back and bring messages, he insists that I pay 100,000 yuan to compensate his cousin. If he doesn't pay, he will send someone to break my leg. My CTM's Demi is playing with me, Li Pengzi. Today, Demi called me and asked me to go to Baifusheng. Either pay or break my leg on the spot. That's why he called you over. Come with me to Baifusheng and repair Demi. I want to see who broke whose leg. Qiu Chen turned around and asked Gao Jin, who had finished pouring tea for Li Pengzi. Gao Jin, isn't Baifusheng in the territory of Dongxing? Gao Jin replied, yes, brother Chen. Baifusheng is located in Shanghuan, which is the territory of Laohe. Qiu Chen said to Li Pengzi, let's go, Uncle Li. Gao Jin and I have brought 20 brothers, plus Uncle Li's people, that's enough. Li Pengzi's eyes rolled and he said, Aiken, don't you need to bring more brothers? I only have 10 people here, and we only have over 30 people together. Qiu Chen replied, don't worry, Uncle Li. In the territory of other clubs, Demi doesn't dare to bring too many people. If it exceeds 100, it's likely that Lao He will directly come forward. Let's go. With me and Na Jin around, Demi won't be able to turn the tables. Li Pengzi twisted his plump body and reluctantly left with Qiu Chen and others to go to the place where he was talking about numbers. Downstairs from Baifusheng, Gao Jin got off the car to check and returned to the side of the car, saying, Uncle Li, brother Chen, I have received the message. Demi came with the leader, the emperor, and more than 60 young brothers. They are now upstairs. Qiu Chen pouted and said, let's go, Uncle Li. Let's go up and see what kind of fireworks Demi is playing. Li Pengzi hesitated and said, Aiken, there are over 60 of them, and we are only around 30. Do you want to call some more brothers over? I'm not afraid, I'm worried that my momentum won't be enough to suppress the situation. Qiu Chen said, rest assured, Uncle Li. This little cat doesn't need as many brothers. Let's go. Then Qiu Chen led Gao Jin towards the restaurant. Li Pengzi hesitated for a moment, but gritted his teeth and followed Qiu Chen out of the car into Baifusheng. On the second-floor lobby, Demi and the emperor sat at a table, with a dozen or so young men standing behind them, and the rest sitting at several empty tables, looking imposing. However, in the eyes of Qiu Chen and Gao Jin, these little thugs with no difference in body weight, long hair, bald heads, non-mainstream, thin-headed and fat-headed, and those who run around and dominate, are basically useless except for their lack of hygiene, probably not taking a shower for a few days, and strong body odor. Qiu Chen walked at the front, in the middle of the fat guy Li, with Gao Jin taking the lead. Only 10 little brothers followed behind, and the rest were arranged downstairs. If there was a fight upstairs, they would be responsible for blocking the door. These 10 little guys are all elite puzzle kids given by the system. They are all around 180 in height and have lean meat on their bodies. It's not realistic to treat them like 10. At least one can fight 3.5 of them. They wear the same clothes, all in black shirts and pants. They look like they can at least be considered shrimp soldiers and crab generals in Journey to the West. They are definitely not catfish. Black fish become elite and run around the world. Qiu Chen sat down with a golden sword, and Li Pengzi sat next to him. Gao Jin and 10 younger brothers stood behind Qiu Chen and Li Pengzi. Demi spoke up first and said, Li Pengzi, have you brought the money with you? MD, could you just give it to me earlier and let me make a special trip? Do you think I have nothing to do every day like you? Although Li Pengzi was a bit uneasy, he immediately became angry when he heard Demi's words and said, Demi, don't go too far. I have also returned the film to you, and the magazine cover has been reprinted. What else do you want? It's really easy to bully Uncle Li. Big squinted his eyes and looked at Li Pengzi. Li Pengzi doesn't think of this door today, does he? Chapter 7. Talk of Collapse. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qiu Chen said, Dammy, come here to talk to you. It's TM who gives you face. Don't really take yourself seriously. If you give me face, I'll call you dammy brother. If I don't give you face, I'll just crush your two pussy. Chow, your cousin came to take a cover and TM charged you 30,000 yuan for labor. Giving you the film is for the sake of Dongxing's face. Reprinting the cover is for the sake of Li Shu's righteousness and kindness. If you dare to demand compensation, where did you get that face? Come over, that Benbo bully. Qiu Chen spoke quickly and coherently, not giving Demi a chance to interject. Suddenly, Qiu Chen pointed to a bald little brother behind Demi, who was probably confused by Qiu Chen's words. He walked out by some strange means and asked, I ask you, did you go to open a room with a horse yesterday? Benbo Ba nodded subconsciously, and Qiu Chen continued to ask, did you give me money? Benbo Ba nodded again and said, I gave it. Qiu Chen continued to ask, is it natural for Ma Zi to open a house with you after you gave me money? Benbo Ba also had a habitual thinking, and the reason was right. He loudly replied, yes, of course, if I receive money, I will open a house. Why do I not do anything after receiving money? I really think I am a fairy. Demi took the lead in slowing down and shouted, get out of here, to Benbo Ba. Benbo Ba was so scared that he walked back, but still muttered, of course you have to open a house if you give me money. The emperor next to Demi also came over and pointed at Qiu Chen, saying, what the hell are you? How dare you? Before he could finish speaking, Gao Jin grabbed the emperor's finger, broke it off, and kicked him in the ribs, flying him out. Demi lifted the table directly, and Qiu Chen got up and grabbed the edge of the table. He lifted the table with both hands and swung it directly towards Demi. Demi reacted quickly, lowered his body to avoid it, and the younger brother behind him was in a miserable situation. He was rushing forward and was directly hit by the solid wood table, instantly falling 5 or 6 younger brothers. Qiu Chen grabbed Demi's collar and lifted her up directly. More than a dozen elite antique puppets drew their swords and directly knocked over more than 20 of Demi's younger brothers. Gao Jin was even more fierce and rushed to the nearby table, kicking and sweeping high, directly discarding 7 or 8 of them. The remaining little brother behind Demi still wanted to come and save him, but Qiu Chen swung Demi and threw it directly at him. The Benbo Ba Bo Ben duo was also knocked down by their own boss's body, lying on the ground humming and groaning. Qiu Chen shouted loudly, if you don't want to squint to death, just stop for me. In an instant, everyone stopped moving. Li Pengzi was still in a confused state, sitting in a chair in a daze, unable to understand why he suddenly started fighting. He just said a few words, which was not in line with the rules. Demi was held up by Qiu Chen and looked around. Among the 60 little brothers, nearly 40 were lying on the ground. The emperor leaned against the wall and was spitting blood out, probably due to broken ribs. Demi could only stubbornly say, Qiu Chen, you don't follow the rules. If you agree to speak numbers, you can directly take action. Qiu Chen said, Dammy, you treat me like a fool. You didn't even want to count, did you? Besides, the table was opened by you first. Demi thought to herself, I lifted the table, but you did it when TM smashed the table at someone. With such a large solid wood tabletop, the few guys who were smashed are probably going to break bones. By the way, you not only smashed the table at people, but also smashed me at Benbo Ba and Baobo Ben. Demi strongly replied, TMD, either you'll kill me or I'll kill you. Qiu Chen looked at Demi and said, TMD, how dare you act recklessly now that you look so dead. I can't justify not punishing you. What's wrong with calling it Demi? I'll make you big, I'll make you big. After speaking, Qiu Chen put down Demi and directly pinched her 2 breasts with both hands. The power of 32 is definitely not a joke. A normal person can only have a maximum power of 10, while a professional athlete and a special forces soldier can only have a maximum power of 20. For example, a double flower red stick like the Crown Prince and an elite special forces soldier like Li Jia have a maximum power of 20. Wei Jixiang, Yao Wen, and Chen Haonan, these red sticks only have a power of 18, while the elite Kapuzi have a power of 17. True Kung Fu masters, such as Feng Yuxiu and Xiahou Wu, have a maximum power of 30, with a power of 28 and 32, all of which are purely system cheats. At the moment when Demi was pinched, she let out an astonishing scream, quite pitiful and helpless. Qiu Chen looked at Demi and said, "Demi, this time it's Mimi. It's not certain where to pinch next time, what do you say?" Demi couldn't speak at all. Qiu Chen thought Demi was still not convinced and said, "Oh, it's quite tough. I'll tell you the answer, next time it's Mimi." After saying that, Qiu Chen's hands reached out to Demi's chest again. "Wait a moment, Ah Chen," Li Pengzi suddenly interjected. "You see, he probably doesn't want to speak, he probably can't speak." Qiu Chen carefully examined Demi and saw her mouth wide open without making a sound. Her saliva, nose, and tears all flowed down 3,000 feet, and her body trembled uncontrollably. Qiu Chen thought, "Oh, it seems right too. Then wait for about 15 minutes. The big squint is slightly better," shaking its head repeatedly and saying in a slightly trembling and unusual voice, "Sir, I have taken it, don't want anything, let us go." Qiu Chen said, "Oh, okay, let's forget about this time. Next time, I'll." Demi quickly replied, "Master, don't worry, there won't be another time." After speaking, Demi's younger brother slowly carried Demi out of the hotel. The emperor by the wall kept reaching out and gesturing, which probably means that I think I can save some time. "Don't leave yet, take me with you." Finally, a younger brother who cleared the scene discovered the emperor and supported him without looking back. Qiu Chen turned to Li Pengzi and said, "Boss, we have already reached an agreement. Demi is quite sincere, and I don't think we will trouble you anymore. Let's go too." Li Pengzi's expression was clearly, "I believe you're a ghost. This is called talking numbers." However, Li Pengzi still didn't express his inner feelings, just shook his head helplessly and said, "Okay, let's go too." As he walked out of the hotel, Qiu Chen heard a system prompt that the host of this task had completed it using unexpected special methods. The martial arts world was shocked and the task was rated as a side quest, with rewards and skill points of 500. Qiu Chen's inner thoughts were, "Oh. Strange, what shocked the world? I can't figure it out, but giving rewards is always good." Qiu Chen later found out that Demi had been lying in the hospital for a full month. In the end, the doctor determined that Demi's chest had developed twice due to external forces, and the development was in good condition. Later, Demi gained a new nickname in the martial arts world, Demi, but the words behind it became overlapping words. Of course, Qiu Chen also gained a nickname, Grasping X Dragon Claw Hand. Chapter 8. Hongxing Conference. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When Qiu Chen returned to the Wind Chime Bar, it was already evening. After taking a shower, he sat on the sofa in the office and went to wash his hands again. After all, he had just enjoyed Demi's behavior, but after finishing it, he felt uncomfortable with both hands. The phone rang, it was Yaowen calling, "Chen Gu, de Pu He has released Ji Gu, so it should be handled carefully." Qiu Chen said, "Okay, I understand. It's estimated that the Hongxing conference will be held soon. I'll ask Wei Xiao about the progress there." After putting down the phone, Qiu Chen dialed Wei Xiao's phone. Chen Gu asked, "Wei Xiao, how is the progress on your end?" Wei Jixiang replied, "Brother Chen, I will send money to Uncle Xing in the morning. Uncle Xing has arranged an appointment with Ma Wangjian, Han Bin, and Dinosaur for me. These three families have already agreed and the money has been accepted. However, Brother Ji has been unable to contact him. Li Pengzi asked me to go tonight, and I am on my way to find him." Qiu Chen said, "Okay, the news that Yaowen just arrived should have been taken down. It is estimated that the Hongxing conference will be held soon. Li Pengzi will take me to talk to Demi from Dongxing this afternoon." Which bar should we be at now? You should handle Li Pengzi as soon as possible, and then ask Uncle Xing to help arrange a meeting with Ji Gu. Ji Gu was caught early in the morning by the people from Dapuhe, controlled for a day, and only released in the evening. Xing Shu is now calling to deliver money to him, and he should not refuse. Wei Jixiang replied, "Okay, Brother Chen, I'll ask Uncle Xing to help arrange a meeting with Brother Ji now." "I'm almost there, Brother Chen. I'll go talk to Fat Li first." Qiu Chen said, "Okay, let's get down to business first. Feel free to communicate with us if you have any questions." After putting down the phone, Qiu Chen began to think about the Hongxing conference. In the blink of an eye, it was already a week later, and two major events occurred in the martial arts world this week. The popularity of Demi's encounter with the Dragon Claw hand has continued to rise, making it the top trending topic. After all, entertainment news is more popular. In terms of current affairs news, the body of Hong Xing, the head of the hall, was discovered in Tunmun. Han Bin and the dinosaur were furious and fought several battles with De Puhe. De Puhe sought help from De Di and Luxiao, and the five halls engaged in another melee. Finally, under the suppression of the police and the leaders of both sides, it came to an end. Hong Xing held a grand funeral for Xiyan, and now Jiang Tiansheng is going to hold the Hong Xing conference today. All members of the assembly, including Fitz and Red Sticks, are required to attend. Early in the morning, Qiu Chen arrived at Li Pengzi's house and picked him up to Hongxing Chuodi. When they entered the main hall, half of the 12 entrances were already there. Qiu Chen found a seat to sit down. Uncle Xing also walked in with Wei Jixiang. Today, Wei Jixiang was also one of the main characters, and everyone was tacit. Qiu Chen also did not go to greet Wei Jixiang. In the eyes of others, Qiu Chen, Wei Jixiang, Zhou Long, and Yao Wen were not familiar with each other. As the people slowly arrived, Big B walked in step by step with the 5 tigers of Causeway Bay. Liang Kuen's eyes lit up instantly and he directly retorted, "MD, everyone says you're the deputy leader of Hongxing, and you take it seriously, right? Except for Mr. Jiang, you always come the latest. To show your unique status, right?" De B retorted, "Liang Kuen, don't talk nonsense. What does it have to do with whether I come late or not? Yes, if you have time to take care of others, why don't you think about what to do with the 20 million that Ba Guan owes you? Let Ba Guan return it to you, or do you go and ask him for it," said the mountain chicken. After finishing speaking, the 5 tigers in Causeway Bay laughed mischievously, and Big B also grinned. Liang Kuen stood up with fierce eyes, walked up to the mountain chicken, and slapped him heavily. The mountain chicken didn't expect to be beaten, and he got a firm blow. On the second day of the day, Chen Haonan and others shouted and rushed forward, but were stopped by Liang Kuen's subordinates, and the scene instantly became chaotic. Liang Kuen said to De B, "You can be a TMD. Even though you know that Ba Guan owes me 20 million, you still want to take care of him. Are you trying to cover Ba Guan's debt? We work for the club, why should my boss be in debt? Liang Kuen, it's your fault for not knowing people and trusting the wrong person." "You think you're unlucky," replied the mountain chicken in dissatisfaction. Liang Kuen's gaze towards the mountain chicken became even sharper. Qiu Chen remembered a sentence from his past life, saying that he couldn't hide his gaze when he wanted to be alone. Liang Kuen's gaze is like this now. At this moment, Chen Yao walked in and saw the chaos in the venue. He scolded loudly, "What are you doing? This is the Hongxing headquarters, where our own people are beating our own people. It's like a gang rule that doesn't exist, right? Mr. Jiang is downstairs and will come up immediately. Do you need Mr. Jiang to handle this matter?" De B was Jiang Tianqing's staunch loyalty. Upon hearing Chen Yao's scolding, he didn't say much and took the 5 tigers of Causeway Bay to find a place to sit down. Liang Kuen pointed at Big B in the mountain chicken and said fiercely, "Big ones don't seem big, small ones don't seem small. Just you bunch of bastards, sooner or later you'll have to fight the street neatly. Shanji was not satisfied and wanted to fight back. Dabi stopped him and said, Shanji, stop talking. Let's talk about the rest when we go back. Liankuan planned to continue saying something, but when he saw that Jiang Tianxing had already walked into the door, he started chatting and stopped talking. However, he didn't know what he was thinking in his heart. Jiang Tianxing greeted all the fits and sat in the leading position. This time, Jiang Tianxing did not chat with the fits at each entrance as usual. Qiu Chen thought it was not surprising. He looked closely at Han Bin and noticed that Dinosaur was his biological brother. The three of them transferred to Hongxing with their people and territory. Jiang Tianxing directly gave the three brothers 3 entrance fits. Among the 12 entrance fits in Hongxing, these 3 are definitely indispensable figures. The main reason why Xiayan died was because Xiayan killed himself. Of course, Jiang Tianxing appeared to control the conflict within a certain range, but in reality did not support Xiayan, which led to Dapu He facing Xiayan's assassin. This clearly has the suspicion of allowing Dapu He to kill Xiayan. It has to be said that doing so is indeed very suspicious of Jiang Tianxing. He only needs the most loyal dog, not the wolf who can expand territory. Perhaps this is a common problem among those in power. Jiang Tianxing will definitely use this opportunity to seize power, and it is estimated that Diyu will take over the fit at the entrance of Kuntong. Diwu is the leader with narrow eyes, but according to Li Jie's information, Jiang Tianxing has been in contact with Diwu for a long time. This time, he weakened Han Bin's influence and was able to control a hall of speech. This trade-off is not good for Jiang Tianxing. Qiu Chen withdrew his thoughts, while Jiang Tianxing was still talking confidently. The fit in each room was also filled with righteous indignation, probably discussing the matter of the murder of Jingyan. Subsequently, Chen Yao spoke, Mr. Jiang, there is currently no fit at the entrance of Kuntong. If other clubs step in now, it is easy to suffer losses if there is no one in Kuntong to preside over the overall situation. Do you think we should choose someone to preside over the overall situation in Kuntong? After finishing this sentence, Qiu Chen knew that the main drama was coming and observed the people around him. Chen Haonan and De Fei both showed obvious signs of excitement, indicating that they could no longer hold on to the upper echelons. Chapter 9. Upper Level. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Tianxing pretended to ponder for a moment and looked at Chen Yao intentionally, asking, Yao is right. Although the fine eye is hanging, the territory of Kuntong is still there. Someone needs to take on this important responsibility for the club. Yao, who do you think is suitable for the position? Chen Yao replied, Mr. Jiang, Diwu is the leader with a keen eye and has influence in Kuntong. His brothers in Kuntong also support Diwu, and the bosses on the land also give Diwu face. Now it seems that Diwu is the most suitable candidate. Jiang Tianxing replied, I think Diwu is also possible, and then looked at each fit, what do you think? Liang Kuan pursed his lips and looked at Jiang Tianxing and Chen Yao singing Shuanghuang one by one, showing a disdainful expression. De Bi first expressed his determination and said, Mr. Zhang's decision will not be wrong. If Diyu is suitable, then Diyu will be fine. Liang Kuan was already displeased with De Bi and retorted, De Bi, Mr. Jiang asked for your opinion, not to flatter you. I know that you are all good at flattering in Causeway Bay. Do you want to act in such a hurry? De Bi's face turned red and he pointed at Liang Kuan, cursing, CNMD Liang Kuan, what are you talking about? Chen Yao quickly said, now it's time to discuss fit in Kuntong district. Why bother with these unrelated topics? Liang Kuan, do you have any opinions? Liang Kuan lit a cigarette and exhaled a strong smoke, saying, you've agreed with Mr. Jiang, so what else is there to say? Just let Diwu take over. Other figures in the hall have also expressed their opinions, some say that Mr. Jiang is wise and discerning, while others congratulate Diwu on his successful rise. Only Han Bin and the dinosaur showed displeasure and kept sitting in their seats smoking, but they did not raise any objections. Jiang Tianqing's ideas were naturally clear to Han Bin, but at the same time, he also had resentment towards Jiang Tianqing. The delicate matter has come to an end, and Jiang Tianqing originally intended to end the meeting. Uncle Xing suddenly said, "Mr. Jiang, the matter with Kun Tong has been resolved. We also have something to tell you about in Aberdeen." Jiang Tianqing was taken aback for a moment, but immediately looked at Uncle Xing with a smile on his face and said to him, "Uncle Xing, you are an elder. If you have anything to say, please let me know." After all, Xingshu is a veteran who fought alongside Jiang Tianqing's father, Jiang Zhen. He is even older than Jige and belongs to the true generation of club uncles. At least on the surface, he respects Jiang Tianqing well. Uncle Xing also smiled and looked at Jiang Tianqing, saying, "I used to be in charge of our Hong Xing's entrance in Aberdeen, so I've been calling you Mr. Jiang. After all, clubs have rules, and I can't rely on the old to break the rules. But today I'll call you Ah Sheng." Ah Sheng, Uncle Xing is getting old and his health is not keeping up. In a few months, my son will be returning from studying abroad. I want to retire and spend the rest of my time drinking tea and traveling with my old brothers. When I have a grandson, I will pick him up and take him to school every day to live a peaceful life. Uncle Xing had previously discussed retirement with Jiang Tianqing, so Jiang Tianqing was not surprised. He had planned to let Han Biao take over and had Chen Yao contact him early on. However, he didn't expect Han Biao to hang up and disrupt Jiang Tianqing's plan, so he never pushed forward the process of Uncle Xing's retirement. This time, Uncle Xing proposed it at the Hongxing conference, and Jiang Tianqing had to face this issue formally. However, Jiang Tianqing still persuaded, "Uncle Xing, you are in good health. Don't worry about retiring. If you want to retire, Hong Xing doesn't have the qualifications to have an uncle like you to sit on the throne. Who should we younger generations turn to make decisions?" Chen Yao and other fits also persuaded Uncle Xing one after another. After all, saying good things doesn't require spending money, and can still earn a good reputation of respecting seniors. Why not do it? Uncle Xing smiled and replied to each fit, then turned to Jiang Tianqing and said, "Ah Sheng, over the years, whether I've been following your father Jiang Zhen or you, the Jiang family hasn't told me anything. It's just that Uncle Xing is really getting old. If it weren't for Wei Zai helping me, let alone expanding my territory, it would probably have been flagged by other clubs long ago. So I recommend Wei Jixiang to join the Aberdeen Tanko fit. After all, he has been managing Tanko for so many years, and he has made significant contributions. I just kept my name and should have abdicated long ago. Otherwise, it would have made the brothers below Tanko feel cold." Jiang Tianqing was noticeably hesitant. He had thought that Uncle Xing would insist on retirement, but he never expected Uncle Xing to strongly recommend Wei Jixiang to take office. He didn't know how to avoid it for a moment, so he instinctively glanced at Chen Yao. Chen Yao understood and was about to switch the conversation. Ji Gu collected the money and eagerly spoke up for the final payment, saying, "I know Wei Zai, he is very powerful. I have fought with Lao He many times, and Lao He is afraid of Wei Zai. If it weren't for all these years of having him in Aberdeen, Lao He would have been in trouble long ago." Li Punzi immediately answered, "Yes, let's talk about the time when Crazy Rong killed Han Biao and killed 600 or 700 people. He would have killed Han Biao in less than 10 minutes. If it weren't for Wei Zai and over 200 people arriving, the territory would have been gone long ago. Wei Zai is really powerful. He forced more than 200 people to repel Lao and 600 or 700 people. This is not just a boast. I don't have such a little brother. If I had one, life in Sham Shui Po would have been easier," said Liang Mama. Apart from the reason for collecting money, she clearly had resentment towards Jiang Tianqing for not caring for him for many years. Dinosaurs and Han Bin were just suffocating to death, and now they have finally found an opportunity to vent. They spoke to Wei Jixiang like machine guns, and Chen Yao looked at Jiang Tianqing with an expression of helplessness. Jiang Tianqing's expression was also like swallowing a fly. Dabi saw Jiang Tianqing's face turning black and wanted to speak to help him out, but he didn't know what to say or what to say. The key was that Dabi listened to these fits and talked nonsense. Dabi also felt that Wei Jixiang should be in power, so Dabi opened his mouth but couldn't say a word. Liang Kun felt bad about Big B's state and said, "Look, Big B also agrees with everyone's ideas. Everyone should take a look at Big B." Big B opened his mouth and said in a daze, I didn't agree with everyone." Liang Kun asked, "So, are you going to argue against everyone?" "I didn't say anything against it," Big B said in a hoarse voice. Liang Kun laughed and said, "You don't agree or oppose it. How did you become a fit? No wonder you've been in Causeway Bay for so many years and still look the same. It's all because of you being such a useless fit." This time, Dabi understood that Liang Kun was cursing at him and said to him, "Liang Kun, what are you talking about? It's not your turn to talk about things in Causeway Bay." Liang Kun continued to ask, "So what's going on in Aberdeen now? Everyone is discussing what you're saying." Big B was bored for a while and couldn't say anything. Uncle Xing continued, "Mr. Jiang, all the entrances are here. Why don't we vote?" Chapter 10. Voting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hongxing has a tradition of voting, but for so many years it has been Jiang Tianqing's one-sided approach, and the rules of voting have also been forgotten. With Uncle Xing's words, Liang Kuen's eyes lit up and he agreed, "Yes, voting." Jiang Tianqing looked around and said helplessly, "Okay, then everyone votes and agrees to raise their hands for Wei Jixiang's appointment to Aberdeen." Uncle Xing raised his hand first, followed by Ji Gu, Li Pengzi, Liang Ma, Dinosaur, Han Bin, Ma Wangjian, and Liang Kun all raised their hands. 13 Sister looked around and also raised her hand. 13 Sister had a good relationship with Han Bin and felt that Han Bin had been wronged recently. When she saw Han Bin raise her hand, she also followed suit. Now only the Crown Prince, Dabi, and Yu are left at the 12 entrances. With the addition of a white paper fan and Chen Yao, there are only 4 votes left without raising their hands. Jiang Tianqing quickly adjusted his state and said, "Okay, the result is out. Since everyone recognizes Wei Zai so much, Wei Zai, you are now a fit for Aberdeen, Hong Kong. However, later on, Uncle Xing's retirement ceremony will require you to arrange it." Wei Jixiang said, "Okay Mr. Jiang, Uncle Xing treats me with great kindness. These are all things I should do, and I will continue to do them well in the future." Jiang Tianqing replied, "Okay, Uncle Xing, since you retired today, our uncles and nephews must have a good drink today. Don't get drunk and don't come back." Uncle Xing nodded with a smile. It has been over a month since Wei Jixiang took office, and Qiu Chen has sent a large number of elite antique puppets to Wei Jixiang and Luo Tianhong. Wei Jixiang and Luo Tianhong have gained confidence and completed internal integration within a month. Now, Hong Kong Aberdeen has strong troops and is working hard, waiting for Qiu Chen's call. Qiu Chen has just received news that the Crown Prince and Chen Yao have been sent by Jiang Tianqing to Siam and have just boarded a plane. Meanwhile, for his birthday today, Big Mouth Chang made an appointment with his boss Ma Wangjian and his brothers Rotten Life to drink at a seafood restaurant. Of course, Big Mouth Chang also made an appointment with 9-Striped Dragon, but 9-Striped Dragon never participated in their occasions. Without Qiu Chen's instructions, 9-Striped Dragon would not attend either. Qiu Chen felt that the opportunity was ripe, so he picked up the phone and dialed Zhou Enlong's number. "Zhou Enlong, you can start from your side. Send a photo to Egg Tart through the dark post." Zhou Enlong replied, "Okay, Brother Chen." Hanging up the phone, Qiu Chen dialed Jimmy's phone again and said, "Jimmy, are you ready for the 10 million I asked you to prepare before? Jimmy replied, everything is ready, Brother Chen. It's in the finance department. Can I give it to Qiu Haolong now? Qiu Chen said, no need, you can give it directly to Wei Jixiang, and it would be more suitable for Wei Xiao to operate it. Jimmy replied, okay, Brother Chen, I'll send someone to deliver it to Miss Wei now. Qiu Chen dialed Wei Jixiang's phone again and said, Wei Xiao, I have instructed Zhou and Dragon to take action. You should be prepared. As soon as you receive the news that Ma Wangjian has hung up, you should contact Han Bin, Dinosaur, 13 Sisters, Ji Gu, Li Pengzi, and Liang Mama. Still familiar with the recipe, familiar with the taste, give 300,000 yuan in the beginning, and give another 300,000 yuan after the completion of the task. Let them speak for the 9-striped dragon at the Hongxing conference, and I'll have Jimmy give you 10 million yuan directly. Wei Jixiang said, alright Chen, don't worry, I'll arrange the rest. After the money is delivered, I'll send someone to take it to Zhou and Dragon when he takes over. Qiu Chen said, okay, Wei Xiao, this opportunity is not easy to come by. We must take this opportunity to fully support Zhou and Dragon's ascension. If you encounter any problems on your end, just communicate with me in a timely manner. Wei Jixiang said, okay, Brother Chen, I will report any progress to you in a timely manner. Putting down the phone, Gao Jin walked in and said, Chen Gu, Li Pengzi is starting to lose cargo. I'll send someone to take some videos for you to take a look at. Then Li Jie turned on the recorder and TV, and Li Pengzi's expression and words were clearly recorded. Li Pengzi explained to his younger brother how to carry out bulk cargo and how much it costs. Of course, including the source and quantity of the goods, he unconsciously explained it very clearly. After looking at it, Qiu Chen nodded and said, perfect. The rest is to confirm the evidence of my brother's loose cargo again, and there should be basically no problem. Gao Jin replied, okay, Brother Chen, I will have someone continue to confirm the evidence of bulk cargo. Qiu Chen continued, prepare some more brothers. The 9-striped dragon has started, and we will fully support the 9-striped dragon these days. Gao Jin nodded and replied, okay, Brother Chen, I'll start preparing here. Then Gao Jin left the office to make arrangements. At the entrance of Lao He Chai Wan Tang, Egg Tart was pounding a hanging sack with a baseball bat. More and more blood seeped out of the sack, but the screams became weaker and weaker. In the end, there was no sound at all, and the blood droplets dripping from the sack turned into blood. The blood flowing down was seen in several photos on the ground, which featured a beautiful photo of Egg Tart's wife and Ma Wangjian. The sack contained Egg Tart's wife. Egg Tart panted heavily and cursed at his little brother, shouting, go throw this bitch into the sea to feed the fish. The little brother shuddered and responded, yes, Egg Tart brother. Then, the little brother untied the rope, removed the burlap bag, and the few of them worked together to lift it out. Egg Tart lit a cigarette and asked the little brother next to him, are everyone ready? The younger brother next to him replied, Egg Tart brother is ready and can set off at any time. Egg Tart took a puff of smoke and continued, have you found Ma Wangjian street thug? The younger brother replied, I've found it, Egg Tart brother. Today, I celebrated my birthday with a big mouth and made an appointment with Ma Wangjian. My whole life is drinking at the seafood restaurant. Let's set off now and we can block them. Egg Tart threw away the cigarette in his hand and fiercely stomped it out. With a cold look in his eyes, he said, take good guys, today I'm going to raise the flag and drive Hong Xing out of Taiwan. Then he set off with a group of young men in a fierce manner. At the seafood restaurant, Ma Wangjian is exchanging glasses with Big Mouth Chang and Rotten Life Quan, and the three of them have already had quite a few drinks. De Kochiang said to Ma Wangjian, boss, Zhou Haolong is going too far and is becoming more and more disrespectful. He may not take my De Kochiang seriously, but today the boss is also here. TMD asked him to come over for a drink, but he hasn't been there yet. There hasn't been a phone call or an explanation, clearly not giving face to the boss. Bad Life also followed roast and said, TMD Joan Dragon didn't look up to our brother at all. Last time on my birthday, he didn't come to invite him to join us. The boss is a brother from the hall. Why should he be superior? Why should he look down on us? Ma Wangjian said, our own brothers privately said that if we don't look at them, they can help us block the egg tart, and there are also some uses. I've already kicked the 9-striped dragon out of the hall. That bastard doesn't even consider me the boss. Except for something at the hall, he doesn't usually come to see me. Moreover, his TMD has frequent private contact with various bosses on the site, and I don't know. He even thought he was a fit from Taiwan. Don't worry, I'll call him to Tonko tomorrow and ask him to give his subordinates to the two of you, pull out his teeth, and then slowly deal with him later. With a strong mouth and a rotten life, upon hearing Ma Wangjian's arrangement, they became excited and raised their glasses together to pay tribute to Ma Wangjian. The three of them drank it all in one gulp and laughed heartily, as if they had already seen the appearance of the 9-striped dragon in despair.